In 1996, a small company known as Valve was formed. And in 1998, they released their first game by the name of Half-Life. And after Half-Life's release, the world of gaming changed forever, as Valve became one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. And it was all thanks to one man who became the face of gaming. Yeah, that's the face of gaming right there. I love Valve. Shocking, I know. A studio known for making some of the greatest first-person games ever? Crazy I like them. There was a time in my life where the only games that I mainly played were Nintendo games and platformers similar to them. But playing Valve games really helped me expand my horizons with gaming. Half-Life changed me, man. So even though Valve's quality in recent years have been all over the place, I want to give them my kudos for helping me expand my horizons. So here's a video of me sucking off Gaben's dick for God knows how long. Ah, Half-Life. One of the many games that changed gaming forever. Every over-the-shoulder PlayStation movie game has Half-Life to thank for it. It revolutionized how stories can be told in video games while also being a really fun game in itself. If Half-Life 1 didn't cement that fact, then Half-Life 2 definitely did. Even though I know more people like Half-Life 2 more than 1, 1 is my favorite. Half-Life 2 is also amazing when in an amazing setting, but 1 will always have a special place in my heart. Plus, the scientists are really funny.
Gordon, you lousy motherfucker. Get your dork ass down to the test chamber or else I will shove the sample up your ass. And stop fucking with the microwave.
For 1998, it had some impressive AI, even if it can be a bit off at some moments. Every combat encounter to me is fun, no matter how much I struggle. Except for the final world, Zen. I fucking hate this place with a burning passion. I know that there's a remake of Half-Life 1 called Black Mesa that supposedly fixes Zen, but I still haven't played it yet, but I do plan on playing it in the future. Hopefully it lives up to the original game. I can also go on about the iconography of this game. The head crab, while being inspired by the face huggers from Alien, are absolutely iconic. Same with the G-Man, as this mysterious threat that follows you throughout the game series that we still don't have all the answers to yet. And of course, Gordon Freeman himself, probably one of the most iconic silent protagonists in video games. There's an obvious elephant in the room when you bring up the Half-Life series, and that's its unfinished plot. Half-Life 2 Episode 2 ended on an infamous cliffhanger, and to this day, we still have no idea what's next for Gordon, Alex, and the rest of the cast. Half-Life 3 has practically become a meme at this point, and somehow, even as of late, there's still been rumors that a new Half-Life game is in development that continues the story. We have gotten a recent Half-Life game in the form of Half-Life Alyx, a prequel game that takes place before Half-Life 2. It's a VR exclusive, so I haven't really played it yet, even though I do have a headset, but I just don't really use it a lot. Despite this series probably never getting a proper ending, I still love Half-Life. It means the world to me, and I hope more people can enjoy this series as much as I do. Portal, the sister series to Half-Life, seeing how they take place in the same universe. To no one's surprise, I'm a huge fan of Portal, specifically Portal 2. Not just do you have a full single-player campaign, but also a full multiplayer campaign. It's puzzle solving at its best. The way that they designed the puzzles is a lot less about them being hard, but a lot more to be satisfying to complete. You probably already know the making behind this game. A group of up-and-coming developers show off a demo for their game that includes new Portal technology that would not be used in any other game at the time. Valve sees this demo and goes to developers saying, You want to make it a full game, and the rest is history. Changing the aesthetics from a medieval type location to the mysterious lab that we know as Aperture Science today was a great choice. And of course, GLaDOS is up there as one of the most iconic villains in gaming. Her snarky one-liners really add to the game. Though I can't get over how weird it is looking at her 1 design compared to her more recognizable 2 design. It's surreal sometimes. I also say that Portal is one of the rare Valve franchise that I'm okay not continuing with more games in the future. Obviously, there is more that you can do with the simple gimmick of Portals, but the overall story of Portal has a satisfying ending to me. With most Valve games not having a real ending to it, I am satisfied that at least one of their series has one. Also, Wheatley is funny.
Alright, so that last test was seriously disappointing. Apparently, being civil isn't motivating you, so let's try her way, alright? Fatty, adopted fatty, no parents. What?
What exactly is wrong with being adopted?
What's wrong with being adopted? Lack of parents?
For the record, you are adopted and that's terrible.
So if somehow you've never played a Portal game, go play them. Both games go on sale fairly often and for fairly cheap, like $2 sometimes. Get a friend to play it with you so you can bully each other. They even recently put both games on the Switch. So if you ever wanted to play on a potential fire hazard, be my guest. Team Fortress 2, the last game of the mythical Orange Box. You don't get a deal as good in gaming as this one, but back on point, I feel like I don't gotta tell you much about TF2. Not to be confused with that TF2. If you've ever been on the internet since 2007, you have definitely seen something involving TF2. After Valve bought the rights to the original Team Fortress, which was made originally as a Quake mod, similar to how the first Half-Life game was made with a modified version of the Quake engine, before its sequel, they went in a very different direction, which I say definitely worked out for the best. The art style went from trying to imitate more realistic designs to a more cartoony look. And a big reason for its success is its recognizable characters. All 9 classes have become iconic at this point and still have appeal to this day. People still make posts about this game all the time, even though it's been like 18 years since it first came out. That's a testament to the game's quality. To many people, they also consider this one of the first hero shooters, which is a popular genre nowadays. While I personally don't think that it shares a lot with Overwatch and recently Marvel Rivals, there is no doubt that the genre definitely took some parts of inspiration from TF2. And unlike hero shooters, TF2 has never introduced a new class to the game. The closest thing that we got to a new playable character is Saxton Hale being in an optional side mode and not part of the main game itself. Some of the classes that I play in this game are Soldier, Scout, and my most played class in general is Heavy. I know he's probably the worst class in the game, but I love holding down 2 mouse buttons and aiming. This game is also infamous for how little Valve seems to care about it nowadays. The last major update for this game was released in 2017, and it's been almost radio silence ever since. We'd get smaller updates, mainly just community maps, but nothing as big as the Jungle Inferno expansion. But even though the game feels like it's never been updated in like forever, people still play the game, which once again is a testament to the quality of the game. There was a time in the game's lifespan where it was infested with bot players for a while, but as of late they haven't been around. The footage that I filmed for this video has been bot free. I could go on and on about TF2. I can even talk in depth about the talented SFM community. They made a goddamn horror movie in TF2 and it's actually really good. If you haven't watched Nemesis Blue, go watch it. So obviously, I love TF2. Even if sometimes some of the fans make me want to rip my hair out.
No!
Left 4 Dead is one of the best zombie games I have ever played. If you remember my Dead Rising video, link in the description if you haven't seen it, I'm a huge zombie fan. And I consider Left 4 Dead 2 to be up there as one of the best. With a group of 4, this game is infinitely replayable. It's a super easy to understand game so that anyone can pick up and play. And those are traits of some of my favorite multiplayer games. The cast for both games are super iconic, and Coach is one of my favorite characters that Valve has ever made. What makes the game so replayable is what they call the director. The director sees how well a team is doing in a game and decides what to throw at the team, making changes to the game as a whole depending on how well your team is doing. You've been struggling a lot this map? The director will decide not to summon as many special infected. You doing too well in the game? Fuck you, here's a tank. No playthrough of Left 4 Dead will ever feel the same. It's what's, once again, adds to its replayability. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention the modding scene. Valve games in general are super easy to mod, and Left 4 Dead is probably the best example. Every little bit in the game can be changed to your liking. Sometimes you can even make this game look like an abomination. But not just is this an aesthetic change, you can also add new maps into the game, which, once again, adds to the replayability. I feel like I'm a broken record at this point. Once again, if somehow you haven't played Left 4 Dead at all, pick it up now or when it's like $2. As much as 1 is important overall, you really only need 2. Not just does 2 have more content, but a lot of the maps from 1 have been ported into 2. So, grab some buddies and start killing some zombies. Just be careful if you're playing on Tank's Playground.
Holy shit, Tank!
Oh, Counter-Strike. It's the game of all time. Jokes aside, I have so many feelings about this game series. It's probably Valve's most successful series, with CS2 usually always having 1 million players playing consistently. As for my opinion on the game, think of it as a love-hate relationship. So a abusive relationship. I overall do enjoy the game. Of all the many bomb defusal games out there, I still consider this one to be the best. It is the original after all. However, despite the fact that I do enjoy this game, out of all the Valve games I'm going to talk about, this one I have the most problems with. It's an online multiplayer game, and for those to be fun, you need a good community. CS really doesn't. Now, to be fair, I do enjoy TF2, and that game also does not have the best community out there. But with TF2, I feel like you could get away more without needing to communicate with your teammates. CS, though, you really need to communicate with your team if you want to win. The problem is, if you're playing with randoms, they are going to be extremely toxic if you're new to the game. It's largely why whenever I play CS, I always play with a 5-stack. Also, it's a game that heavily involves gambling, and not just with fictional currency, but with real currency. You're going to be gambling away real money for these skins. On the bright side, you are able to sell those skins for real money, so I guess that's a win. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention the recent change from CSGO to CS2. In the efforts to modernize the game, Valve ported the game from the Source engine to the new Source 2 engine, and that has caused a lot of problems, especially to the CSGO purists. Now, I'm not the biggest CSGO head, so I don't really know the differences, but if you're a longtime CSGO head, then you'll probably notice some different stuff. It's up to you if these changes were for the better or the worse. To me, it still feels like the same game relatively, but I will say that it's really shitty of Valve to not let people play Go anymore. It's a trend that I hate in gaming when a new version of a game comes out and replaces the old version so you can't play the old version anymore. But even with all its problems, I still have fun with this game. Sometimes it feels good to dick around with your friends in CS, especially if you aren't taking the game super seriously.
I tried to sneak through the door, man. Can't make it. Can't make it. The shit's stuck. Out of my way, son! Door stuck! Door stuck! Please!
And there's no reason not to at least try it out. It's free. The only thing you'll need to pay for are the credit card debts that you get for gambling too much on this game. So, what's Valve up to now? Well, despite how it felt like forever since Valve last released the game, they are slowly getting back into making them. For a while, they weren't releasing games because they made Steam, where they just sell other people's games, and that made them a truckload of money, so no surprise that they were stopping for a while. But they're back at it. They recently released Half-Life Alyx not too long ago, which I heard was a really fun game, and they also released CS2. But their biggest project as of late is a new game known as Deadlock, which is a MOBA. And if there's one thing you should know about me, I do not like MOBAs. It's why I didn't mention another popular Valve series in this video, because I have no experience with it. But maybe when the full game comes out, I will try it and give it a fair shot. I am glad that Valve is still making games, even though I don't mind their recent push to focus on new tech for gaming, because the Steam Deck kicks ass. I love being able to play my huge Steam library while I'm just in bed. No matter what's in the future for Valve, I will always remember the fond memories I have with them. Wish they didn't give me a gambling addiction though.
And I just wanted to give you the chance to kill yourself now. Well, better offer here is just kill yourself.